In this video, I'm making Christmas presents out of pallet wood. Ho ho ho! Thanks for clicking play and welcome to my bomb shelter basement workshop, where today I'm going to pretend I'm an elf and make a load of Christmas presents. For the past couple of years, I have been making my friends and family gifts out of wood as I learn new skills and test out new designs. So it's turned into a bit of a Christmas tradition, and more importantly, it gets me views. So let's keep up the Christmas tradition of me making random gifts, you guys watching the video as I make 4 Christmas presents out of scrap wood. The reason I just gave myself a YouTube voiceover is I don't know how many gifts I'm actually going to do. For those who haven't watched my videos before, I am an amateur. I don't have fancy equipment. A lot of the stuff I make goes wrong, and quite a lot of it doesn't actually make it to the final edit. But I do have a lot of ideas I want to test out, and I'm going to enjoy doing that regardless of whether you guys see it or not. So let's get cracking with the first one. It's going to be dead simple and dead easy.
The first present is gonna be a phone holder, so grab yourself a piece of pallet wood, then set your drop saw to 15 degrees. Next you want to set the depth of the blade so it doesn't go all the way through. Then we're gonna do a test cut to see if it's deep enough. If it isn't, we're just gonna adjust it, and then we're gonna rinse and repeat and gradually move our way across until there's enough space to put your phone in it. Next, chop it off because we don't need all that wood, and start making it look pretty. This might just be the easiest woodworking Christmas gift on YouTube, but I didn't cut it long enough and the wood was really horrible, so I'm gonna make a pretty one. And there we go, present number 1.5, phone holder, but you can also flip it over and use it as a coaster. But what if you don't have a slidey forwardy backwardy drop saw? Let's try use a jigsaw. We need to put a line where we're going to cut. You can put this line wherever you want, but you want it to be as close to the front as possible. Then just cut along the line with a 15-degree angle. The bigger the angle, the more your phone tilts back. Next we're cutting a straight line at roughly halfway. Next you want to sand the slanty edges before you stick everything together. Next we're just going to stick it all together, making sure we've got enough space for our phone to go in. So I'm going to put the front one on, then I'm going to put the back one nearby, then I'm going to drop my phone in. It needs to be about there. This one is a little bit chunkier compared to the other one, but if you're going to use this method, then just find yourself some thin pallet wood. For present number 2, we're going to be doing a controller holder. I had this idea when I was doing my desk tidy project, and I've wanted to test it out ever since. And we're starting by cutting 2 pieces of wood a little bit wider than your controller. Now we need to mark out roughly where the lowest points of the controller touch the wood. The holes aren't big enough. At this point, I realised the holes weren't close enough together, so I grabbed another piece of pallet wood and started again. Next, I needed to drill a little bit more out of the base section so the controller could sit in all the way. Instead of doing these complicated measurements, I should have just used the top section and traced the circles. There it is. Obviously you'd want to stick it together, sand it, make it look pretty, do whatever you want, but it works. I've just had an idea for a very simple but very cool looking version. I'm gonna have to make it!
still see you smiling. This looks amazing in its natural wood colour, but everything in this video is going to be gothy and black.
Even though I still feel the echoes.
Two versions of the controller holder complete. It is a very simple idea. There's definitely room for improvement. I think it would be really cool with a layer of epoxy and some RGBs, but I didn't have time for that. Let me know which version you think's best. On to the next gift. P.S. It also doubles as a tea light holder. You can light some candles and make it look fancy. For present number 3, we are making a super simple pallet wood bath tray. Now, I did make a bath tray earlier in the year. I thought it was quite interesting, but it definitely needs improvement. So you can check that one out if you like. It'll be on the screen somewhere. I always forget where. But whilst I was making it, I had some ideas for making a really, really simple, easy one. And you could build this one just with a jigsaw. But first, let's go get some sizes.
Once you know your sizes, get all your wood and start chopping them to the right length. One of your pieces will need to be split in half, so I've cut these 2 scrap pieces to the right size. They don't need to be this big, so I'm going to trim them down. If anyone wants to know my sizes, let me know in the comments.
I know what you're thinking. I did say you could just use a jigsaw on this one, but I'm making a video, so I needed the table saw to speed this up. Obviously, you can cut them with a jigsaw. But now that I've got all these pieces, we're going to make the curves on the end. I've cut that completely wrong. So close. Just that tiny little corner there needs to go. If you have a pillar drill that doesn't flop around like it's going to fall apart, use that. You'll get more precise corners. Or if you have a router, use that. It's probably going to be better. I'm sure there's many other ways of doing it. You can cut the corners however you like. But for this video, I'm using the jigsaw. I'm just trying to make this video simple so everyone can have a go. Now, if you're terrible with a jigsaw, like me, don't worry about it. We're just gonna sand the crap out of it at the end. Now, this next bit's important. I should have mentioned it at the start, but you want to choose the correct thickness of wood. These strips here, they're about 15 millimeters, 14 millimeters. These strips here, 22 millimeters. If it's too thick, it's not going to hold your tablet or phone properly. So you want it thin enough to just kind of drop the thing in like that.
I'm also putting a little slant on these pieces to allow any excess water to drain out. Then you want to trace around your tablet onto this piece. It only needs to be recessed about 1 centimetre. I've also decided to add a phone holder, so I've traced around that too. Then just cut those pieces out, stick it all together with some clamps to test if it works. And if it does, you're ready to glue it up. I didn't want to waste the piece that I'd cut wrong earlier on, so I included it in the glue up, and now I'm just going to fill the gap. Once it's dried, I'm going to sand the hell out of this section because it's really messed up.
Sanding those corners just took way longer than it should have done, and here's why. When I was cutting the corners, I should have marked everything left and right, because when I glued everything together, some of the rights were on the left and some of the lefts were on the right. That's why they were all in different positions. Anyway, now the corners are done, let's get it flat.
Because it's a bath tray, it will be exposed to steam quite a lot. So I'm going to seal the wood stain with a layer of satin varnish.
And that's the bath tray done. This is supposed to be a present for someone, but I kind of want to keep it because it looks freaking awesome. The black wood stain has been cool, but as soon as I've added a layer of satin varnish to it, it looks even better. Now I've made mine to hold a phone and hold a tablet, but you could recess an area for some soap, maybe a tea light. You could even put a section that holds a wine glass if you want to. This is just a basic idea for you to play around with and improve, do whatever you like with. On to the next present. This next Christmas present is probably going to be the easiest one of the video. We're making a food tray with a twist.
So for the final time this video, grab yourself a piece of pallet wood, make up some measurements, chop your wood to the right size, and let's get started.
Obviously you can decide on your own sizes, but I think this is too wide, so I'm going to cut it in half. Now it's time to put this thing together. Now you can put yours together however you like, with glue, dowels, the force, but for the purpose of this video, I'm going to be using screws. Here comes the twist. For the next bit, you're going to need a bicycle wheel. Preferably a knackered wheel that you don't need anymore. Quickest way to disassemble them is get a pair of pliers or snips. Just cut all the spokes out until you've just got the rim left. Now what you need to do is take the rim and just float it slightly over your wood. So I'm going to mark this one there. Now you want to try and mark your rim near to a spoke hole, because this is how we're going to attach it. So the spoke hole is about 1 inch in, and then my line is on the underside.
Now I'm putting the side I just cut on the board and then marking the rim on the other side where it meets the wood.
And that's the food tray done. No money spent. I think the bicycle rim handles look really cool. That could be because I'm a cyclist, but I also like the fact that I didn't spend any money on it. The black wood stain is looking really cool on this. I might actually sand it down so you can see the wood come through a bit more, and then add a layer of satin. So there it is, 4 easy Christmas presents made with basic tools. Apart from when I cheated and used the table saw, and technically I've actually made 7. But really, I've actually made 9, because there's these 2 things which haven't made it to the edit, just because they didn't turn out as well as I was expecting. Because my videos aren't how-to videos, they are me learning as I go along and just fixing mistakes. Those 2 are massive mistakes. But if you want to see those 2 presents, then let me know in the comments. I've got enough footage, I might be able to make a video out of it. But apart from that, if you made it this far, thanks very much for watching. As usual, if you've got any tips, questions or suggestions, stick them in the comments below. I do answer every single one of them. And yeah, have a Merry Christmas. If I don't get another video out, I might do, I might not do. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm waving my arms, I'm dancing like a crab. See you later.